Hello and welcome to NTV Business Now. I'm Marco Musime. This program is proudly supported by Absa Bank Uganda. And this week we bring you a big story of the latest campaign from the bank, Custody Banking, designed to give you an investor smart, safe ways to grow and manage your assets. The details will be coming very soon and explained by the bank itself, and we will announce when to hold that conversation. Coming up on the program, intra-Africa trade is dominating debate as Djibouti looks to leverage its unique sea-to-air cargo corridor to capture demand from the East African market. We also hear from the country's port leadership on the true cost of shipping through one of the region's busiest gateways on the Red Sea. On our asset acquisition segment, the focus now shifts to the rise of Chinese car makers across Africa. And in Uganda, Jet2 has just rolled out its new SUV models, the Dashing and the X70 Plus in Kampala. And on Take Now, we track a major story in Uganda's mobility sector, the commissioning of the Kiira Motors Corporation plant by President Museveni, alongside $143 million boost to scale up electric vehicle production. It's all here on Business Now, where we connect Africa opportunities to global markets. This is Business Now.
Today, we have a system which is digitalized in our port community system. We have a Djibouti port community system, so we can track the cargo. We know where it's stuck. So that's the part we are doing.
Jet2's strategy is to cover all markets. Of course, we plan in the future to go to electric. We also want to be a part of that journey with the government of Uganda investing in the infrastructure required for electric vehicles.
Let's take a quick look at some of the top business stories that are being hotly debated today. Dangote Refinery and fuel shock. Hear this. Nigeria's flagship Dangote Refinery has suspended petrol sales in Naira, citing a crude supply shortfalls, and now faces a standoff with oil unions after mass layoffs. With unions ordering a halt to gas supplies, the disruptions are expected to push up fuel costs across Africa and add pressure on forex markets in countries like Kenya, Uganda maybe, and Tanzania that rely heavily on imports. And the EU $638 million renewables boost because the European Union has announced that financing package to fast-track renewable energy investment in Africa, targeting solar, wind, and grid upgrades. For East Africa, where power shortages continue to constrain industry, the funding could unlock new projects and reduce dependency on imported fuel and attract private investors aligned with green transition goals. Let's now come back home. Uganda has made a powerful statement at Asia's biggest coffee gathering, the SCAJ World Specialty Coffee Conference and Exhibition in Japan, positioning itself as one of the world's fastest rising coffee exporters and a reliable source of both Arabica and Robusta beans. The appearance comes at a time of historic performance for Uganda's coffee sector. Latest figures now from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries show that the country exported 7.93 million 60-kilogram bags in the 12 months to August 2025, and that's valued at $2.24 billion, a 58.7% increase in value compared to the previous year. So coffee is now Uganda's largest export, a backbone for rural livelihoods and the country's most visible global commodity in terms of brand. Uganda, at the heart of Asia's specialty market at the SCAJ 2025, hosted a Tokyo big site and expected to draw over 75,000 visitors. Uganda is exhibiting under the banner Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. This is Business Now. We begin with the Djibouti trade corridor because intra-Africa trade is firmly in focus this week as Djibouti positions itself as a gateway to East Africa. The country, according to the Chief Executive Officer of the Dolari Container Port, the SGTD, Abdullahi Adawe Sagadi, the company is in charge of management and development of container activity under the Ports and Free Zones Authority, says the terminal now boasts of a key length of 1,050,000 meters, I beg your pardon, and a depth of -18 to 20, which is one of the deepest on the continent and allows it to dock the biggest vessels in the shipping world. The country is now betting on its unique sea-to-air cargo corridor to capture demand from the EAC, but challenges governments to ensure less bureaucracy in supporting logistics and build suitable infrastructure. He also addresses the question about the true cost of shipping through its Red Sea ports.
First of all, what we would like governments, but also its infrastructure, road, efficient road, solid road, and also less administration and bureaucracy. I mean, I'm not saying the government of this or that country, but as a group, we're talking as an operator and the business community. So the bottleneck number one is infrastructure, and here it's a bottleneck, but it's a challenge for government of developing countries. There is resources are limited, so that's the major one. Is road and rail. If we come to say that will take time, and even for government it's challenging, and we think some of them are doing their best, but they are also overwhelmed in certain sense to have the resources. Now, where maybe where the business community, but also government has more leverage, is the economic integration, bureaucracy, and joining different country border facilitation. That's on their hand. I think that's one area we would like the progress to ease the transit of goods between different from the port to inland country. Less bureaucracy in the region of the port, less bureaucracy at cross border, less bureaucracy at the arrival destination. So that's what we will ask on the government. What we also, where we might need to make effort as a business community and port and logistics also, we have some part of the job is on our side. We need to be creative and we need to find solution of the constraint. And one constraint is to say, yes, we have a challenge of infrastructure. There is a challenge of, I would say, soft administration and bureaucracy, but we have still find a way, and then we are part of that bureaucracy. We need to improve, and today we have a system which is digitalized in our port community system. We have a Djibouti port community system, so we can track the cargo. We know where it's stuck. So that's the part we are doing. The other part is this business. We are saying sea air cargo. Why? But with that, we overcome the infrastructure for certain goods. I mean, because why? Because sea air freight is a quite competitive system. If you are in South Sudan or in north of Uganda or east of Congo, you place an order in China. The issue is not from China to Africa. The line will compete, and then it will arrive on time. If it's booked, it will arrive on time. The issue comes when it reaches the port, up to the customer. So here, that's why we're proposing this idea of sea air freight for critical cargo, for some cargo, and we invite the business community to make the business plan to say what is the global cost of the cargo when it arrives in their warehouse, when they talk about waiting time, reliability of in time, cost, and then the delivery time, and all that also damage. While it comes from sea, then it arrives directly here in the container. It will be unstuffed, put in other pallet, send it to the plane, and you plane in air transport. There is no damage, as you know. It's quite sensitive, so it arrives on time. So this is one way we think a sea air freight is one way to overcome this obstacle in short term, while we encouraging the government at their possibility to enhance the physical infrastructure.
On our asset acquisition segment, we talk new brands in the market. Chinese automakers are quietly building momentum across Africa. Here in Uganda, Jetour has just unveiled its latest SUV. The lineup is dashing and X70 Plus as part of its push to win over a growing base of middle-class buyers.
We've invested approximately, I would say, close to 3 million USD just in the early stage, the first stage of our investment, which is a new showroom in Namamve and also a free zone area where we'll be storing our vehicles. We have the second phase where we expect the investment to be considerably higher. So we're looking at the second phase of an investment, maybe close to another $4 million in Namamve, where we'll have our full-fledged headquarters, where we'll have a sales team, a showroom. We'll have also, of course, our workshop, body shop, parts storage area, and some accommodation for some of our staff as well. In terms of jobs, we have already employed several Ugandan managerial positions. Our sales manager, our after-sales manager are all Ugandan locals, and we hope to increase that in the coming months, of course, with technicians, logistics officers, salespeople across the whole group. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. The Jetour's strategy is to cover all markets. Of course, we plan in the future to go to electric. We also want to be a part of that journey with the government of Uganda, investing in the infrastructure required for electric vehicles, so charging stations and other kind of infrastructure which is required. So it's definitely in our plans in the next few years to invest in electric vehicles and bring that to the market as well. Point by the director. So it's definitely something that we would like to speak to the government more about and speak to those involved more about, and potentially it could be a good collaboration going forward. We also see a future where we're able to do assembly in Uganda for the people, increase jobs, and also make the vehicles even more affordable than they currently are. Yeah.
Let's now talk technology. President Museveni has approved a $143 million funding boost for Kiira Motors Corporation. That's huge, making the commissioning of Uganda's first large-scale EV plant on September 26th. The facility plans to ramp up some 10,000 units a year, including lithium battery production, positioning Uganda as a regional hub for e-mobility. So the government says the project could create up to 500,000 jobs through the EV value chain, while cutting a fuel import bill of more than $2 billion annually. But the company's break-even depends on strong upfront orders and rapid rollout of charging infrastructure, even as private investors, including Chinese firms, show growing interest.
For Abaganda b'omu Lukola tulina enjogera yaffe tugamba nti abaali baseka. And you remember when we came from the bush, we had the 10-point program. And point number 5 was talking of building an economy which is independent, integrated, and self-sustaining. And integration meant two things. There will be the vertical integration, but also the horizontal integration. So what has happened here is some partial vertical integration, where you have the imported steel using our skilled labor and our electricity to produce these vehicles. So for the first time, the transport sector is beginning to be integrated with the industries of Uganda in the form of Kiira vehicle plant. If we do it successfully, we shall save $800 million for steel. So I want to congratulate the Makerere University, then I want to congratulate Kiira Motors, and I want to congratulate the National Enterprise Corporation, because you are all now showing that you can do it and you have the capacity. So I congratulate you and I wish you good luck.
Permit me, Your Excellency, to thank you for finding time out of your busy schedule to come and grace this occasion of the commissioning of Kiira vehicle plant constructed by National Enterprise Corporation here in the Jinja Industrial Business Park.
The minister in charge here, when we were walking in the facility, he challenged me and said, I want you to give me $143 million and you will see the things I will do here.
That $143 million, we shall get it for sure.
The products we have built have been carefully crafted to capture aspects that are key for competent deployment in the unique situation on the African continent. They have been built for comfort, they have been built for safety, and not to mention enhanced environmental stewardship.
And that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Business Now. Remember, you can watch this program again on our YouTube channel, NTV Uganda, and don't forget to subscribe and follow NTV on X, Facebook, and all our social media platforms for updates. Business Now is proudly sponsored by Absa Bank Uganda, and once again, we continue to bring you the good news of the bank's latest campaign, Custody Banking, designed to give you, your investors, smarter, safer ways to grow and manage your assets. Join us again next Friday for a repeat for another edition of Business Now. And up next, stay with us for NTV Tonight and the news at 9.